Hi, and welcome to In Brandon. And on today's edition, we're going to talk about SPIN and World Suicide Prevention Day. And with us we have Jill Brown, who's the SPIN co-chair, and John Jackson, who's the SPIN chair. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, can you tell us a bit about what SPIN stands for and what it is?
Sure. SPIN is the Suicide Prevention Implementation Network. We're a multi-agency group, community people working together to reduce the risk of suicide, promote awareness, and work on a mentally well community. We have several goals, like building resilience and the mental well-being, as I mentioned, promoting awareness about suicide, but also increasing suicide intervention training so that people in the community can identify people at risk. We also want to enhance awareness of crisis services and supports in our community and encourage people to seek assistance when they are in distress. And as well, we provide supports to those that are bereaved by suicide.
So how long has SPIN been around?
So actually this year we're celebrating our 15th anniversary of SPIN, which is very exciting, so since 2001.
And who's involved with SPIN?
As I mentioned, there's lots of different agencies, like Prairie Mountain Health, which is I work for, the Addictions Foundation in Manitoba, Brandon Correctional Center, Brandon University, the Assiniboine Community College, Brandon School Division as well, Child and Family Services of Western Manitoba, the City of Brandon, the Military Family Resource Center out in Shiloh, as well as the Mental Health Clinic in Shiloh as well, Sexuality Education Resource Center, the Manitoba Suicide Line, and Manitoba Farm and Rural Northern Support Services, and many others. There's lots of different groups that are at that table.
So what are some examples of programs and initiatives that SPIN is involved with?
Well, I think probably one of the major events we host each year, and we'd actually like to talk about briefly, is World Suicide Prevention Day. So that's an activity that SPIN does host usually towards the end of the first week of September. So this year it is going to be on Friday, September the 9th at Prairie Oasis at noon. And basically, with suicide being one of the leading causes of death worldwide, and also, of course, in Canada, we like to raise awareness for suicide prevention. We like to sort of raise awareness for resources and supports in the local community. And we do also acknowledge people who have been working to make Brandon and area suicide safer. So that'll be this Friday. Did you want to talk about some of the other things we do, Jill?
Sure. We work hard all year on different initiatives. One being is promoting our Safe Talk training, which is a 3-hour suicide awareness training that is provided to all sorts of different groups and interested people in the community. There's one open to the public this Thursday, September 8th, at the Elspeth Reed Family Resource Center from 5:30 to 8:30. We also have ASSIST training in our community, which is the Applied Suicide Intervention Skills training as well. We help promote, we sponsor some spots for mental health first aid training too, which is a 2-day training. We have been working on a Mental Health Commission of Canada Headstrong Youth Anti-Stigma initiative. So we have a summit coming up October 12th at the Brandon Youth Center, and that's going to be kids like grade 9 to 11 coming from the rural area as well as Brandon to come together to work on like destigmatizing beliefs so that people will reach out, young people will reach out and get help when needed. So we have that going on this year. We're also looking at doing some lunch and learn series this year to like different businesses in the community that maybe want to learn about mental wellness and suicide awareness as well. So we would be willing to go out to all sorts of different businesses or workplaces to do that. We're wanting to target men this year as well. So men's groups, or just encouraging men to seek out resources and get help, because that is one of the higher risk groups. This year we're also wanting to provide some wellness workshops for immigrant population, as well. Maybe do some things at like Brandon University, ACC. Lots of things going on this year for sure.
To add to that, we do also support initiatives at Brandon Aboriginal Healing and Wellness Centre, sort of providing education around Indigenous teachings, which are very popular. And we also sponsor events with the YWCA, their Power of Being a Girl, and Girl Space, which goes out to lots of girls in Brandon School Division.
Right. So why is it important to have the committee like this?
Well, I think that we need to continue working on reducing suicide risk and promoting resources. We have great community resources in Brandon, but to ensure that people have the numbers to reach out, and reducing that stigma so that they're comfortable and willing to reach out. So all the community network that we have, we just are trying to make people aware. We need to talk about suicide, not just at World Suicide Prevention Day, but every day. And I think that we can make some headway at decreasing suicide.
And where does SPIN get its support from?
We have, access to funds through Prairie Mountain Health in the global mental health budget. We also rely on some donations as well. Sometimes in memoriams, people will make some donations.
And is this service people can access when they're in crisis, or?
So we're not a crisis service in ourselves, but the agencies that sit on our committee certainly do provide some crisis services. Jill and I have brought along a little brochure here, and I believe we'll potentially have some of these numbers on the screen.
Right, so if you just want to let us know what they are.
Yeah, for sure. So Westmead Crisis Services is facilitated by Prairie Mountain Health, and they can be reached 204, of course, 725-4411. There is the Manitoba Suicide Line, which is 1-877-435-7170, and Manitoba Farm and Rural Support Services, which is 1-866-367-3276.
So how can people get involved?
There's lots of ways people can get involved. Of course, if you are concerned about someone, we use the acronym TALK. So, tell if you are having thoughts of suicide. The A is for ask. So we want people to be comfortable to ask, are you having thoughts of suicide? The L is for listen. Listening to them, telling them it's important that you hear them. And then K is for the keep safe. So that's having access to the resources, connecting that person with first aid resources. And we have developed these power cards for youth as well, which have the important phone numbers, websites, apps that have all sorts of crisis numbers as well. But we need people to be aware of them, right? So that's one way that people can get involved is to post them, make them aware, just like you guys are today, informing the community. Also, sometimes people would like to volunteer for an event or be part of SPIN. That would be another way that they could get involved. Other ideas, I guess, just encouraging in your networks or in your workplace or with your family members, we want to reduce the stigma. So when you hear of, different talk that is not helpful, and kind of intervening, and, it is a serious thing, and we want people to kind of take it seriously and listen, but act if they're concerned about someone at risk.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and filling us in on SPIN. And we just want to remind everybody about World Suicide Prevention Day, which is being held Friday, September 9th at Prairie Oasis. And it's from noon till 1 p.m.
If you don't mind me adding in,
Sure.
people can feel free to check us out on Facebook. It's Spin Brandon, so we sure would appreciate the like, and there's connection to some local resources on there as well.
All right.
And on our website as well, there is links to everything we've talked about today, but also all sorts of different resources, including we do have a monthly support group for those bereaved by suicide, and that's here in Brandon. So there's information on our website to get involved with that as well.
Great. John, Jill, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.